What's up, Taiwan? I'm Andrew Ryan with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's tourism sector is looking to put the pandemic behind it as the country prepares to scrap COVID quarantine and reopen to international tourists. But as John Van Trieste reports, a lack of visitors from China and inflation could make the road to recovery a long one.
Taiwan's tourism sector is planning its comeback. It's been holding promotions abroad, hoping to bring back visitors as Taiwan reopens. But recovery may not be easy, even with the country scrapping its COVID quarantine requirement. One problem is China, Taiwan's biggest source of tourists, where a zero-COVID policy continues to disrupt travel. This and a cap on weekly arrivals means the industry is only likely to see around 20% of the 11.8 million arrivals it welcomed in 2019. It could be 2024 before a full recovery. And even then, rising prices could hamper growth.
影响最重的应该会在2024，也就是说，当你全面恢复的时候，它就会回到消费者阻碍很重要一个叫成本因素，也就是它的感受体验价值是够的时候，他才会愿意来。
Still, industry insiders are eager to leave the pandemic in the past. They believe more marketing from the government can counteract inflation and convince overseas tourists to begin making their way back to Taiwan. Patrick Chen and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
In the face of an increasingly aggressive China, some in Taiwan believe that semiconductors, often called the country's silicon shield, can prevent an attack. As Eric Gao reports, one of the biggest names in the industry says he agrees.
This piece of silicon could be the main thing stopping China from invading Taiwan, which it unilaterally claims as part of its territory. Speaking to the U.S. news program 60 Minutes, the founder of the world's biggest semiconductor manufacturer explained how this silicon shield would protect Taiwan from a potential attack.
It means that perhaps because our company provides a lot of chips to the world, maybe somebody will refrain from attacking it. If that person's priority is for economic well-being, I think they will refrain from attacking.
Taiwan produces almost all of the world's most advanced chips, which are used in everything from cars to smartphones to fighter jets. So any attack on Taiwan and its semiconductor industry would affect far more than just the country.
如果两岸真的不幸开战，那对于台湾的台积电，甚至于台湾的晶圆代工产业的话，势必会有极大的影响。我们可以知道，台湾的晶圆代工产业的话，占有全世界的市占率高达65%以上。
Other countries, including China, are trying to lessen their reliance on Taiwan by building up their own semiconductor sectors. But Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen says her government will work hard to stay the industry leader.
我们会持续维持台湾在半导体尖端制造的优势和能量。同时也会协助全球在半导体供应链重整上进行最佳的配置，让护国神山的全球地位更形重要。
With Taiwan's current role in the global chips industry, should China break the silicon shield and attack the country, there would be no winners, only losers. Alex Chen and Eric Gao for TaiwanPlus.
Taijiang National Park is stepping up work to protect a land crab species that calls its coastal wetlands home. The park in Taiwan's southwest has gathered a team of volunteers to watch over the animals as mating season winds down. And it's even shut down park roads so the crabs can cross safely. John Van Trieste has more.
Under cover of darkness, a crab wades into the waves on Taiwan's southwest coast and releases its eggs into the sea. It's the tail end of mating season for this species, and Taijiang National Park, which lies on this stretch of coastline, is making sure the crabs are disturbed as little as possible. To get an idea of how many there are, these volunteers search the dark coastal wetlands, but after that, they make sure the crabs are left alone.
第二个工作是有关一些安全巡护，比如说看有没有人盗猎。
At latest count, there are close to 4,000 crabs. And to help them move around more safely during mating season, the park called in academics.
在经过做出统计之后呢，到目前的资料为止，已经看出来说环部的一个效果，以及我们说的喷砂这个效果是最好的。
For the first time, the park has also shut down some roads to protect crossing crabs from traffic. And there are suggestions to expand this protection.
也许可以拉满月的前5天、后5天，从傍晚天黑前5点，那一直到晚上大概9点或10点左右，这个机车便道先把它封路，那不影响白天跟10点夜间大家的需求。
The crab's guardians hope their work now will set the stage for an even safer mating season for the creatures next year. Asnaya Zhou and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
New Zealand's government has proposed a tax on greenhouse gases from farm animals as part of a plan to tackle climate change. One way of lessening emissions is to change the animals' diets, and scientists are developing a new drink they hope will help, and it's known as, get this, Kow-bucha. Jaime Okan has this story.
Small one somewhere.
These dairy cows in New Zealand are getting an early taste of Kow-bucha, a new product created by a team of scientists to help the environment.
So Kow-bucha is a natural potential probiotic methane busting solution to reducing methane emissions on farm in New Zealand and potentially globally. So the way that we came up with it is that we've got one of the world's largest dairy culture collections. We've got over 40,000 strains here. And we'd been using that collection to look at probiotics for human health applications.
Cows and other livestock are some of the biggest producers of methane gas in the world. It comes from when the animals burp or pass gas. According to a UN report, methane is 80 times more potent at warming the earth than carbon dioxide. Scientists say that initial trial runs of Kow-bucha, which is a mix of regular dairy milk and a probiotic, show promise in reducing the amount of methane produced.
The true eureka moment for me was when we got the results of the first cattle trial back, and we were able to show that we got a reduction in methane of up to 20% in those animals. And we've continued to be able to show reduction in those, and obviously we've got other trials underway, but that definitely was the eureka moment.
New Zealand's government recently proposed taxing greenhouse gases that come from farm animals. This would be the first tax of its kind and is known by locals as the burp tax. It could come into effect as soon as 2025. The government says that farmers would be able to make back that money by charging higher prices or reducing the size of their herds. But economists say that that could put pressure on farmers.
So at the moment, the easiest way to reduce emissions is to reduce production or have less animals, basically. So that's a real challenge when we're trying to also, produce enough, continue to produce food and keep our export returns at the level that we want them to.
Countries like New Zealand have been pushing more environmentally friendly policies to help achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2050. The scientists behind Kow-bucha believe that their new drink will help reach that goal and put less strain on New Zealand's farmers.
New Zealand has key targets it needs to meet by 2030 and also by 2050. And this is a great solution that would be easy for farmers to adopt and help us meet some of those key targets.
With current trials showing success, cows across New Zealand could start drinking Kow-bucha by the end of 2024. Not only helping to protect farmers' bottom line, but also the environment. Ricky and Jaime Okan for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. And finally, we leave you with images of the Perreton, a marathon of dogs in Spain. The theme of this year's event highlights the importance of animal welfare and rights. I'm Andrew Ryan. Take care and see you next time.